معجب احنا نريد نعرف والله
ولا شربي بس
بدري ويا واحد.
I wasn't ready yet. I just had it. I love this.
ارجع شوي.
بعد وانا هون لا استنى اقعد هناك اوخر ما يخاف اوخر
هيك يا سيدي اقعد اقعد عادي ياسر
ركز ركز قول يا
ياسر
Mr. Ali is here, so you'll see him coming in just a minute.
Yeah, hit record. I should get that.
Am I in your way?
Oh, you're fine.
How you doing, sir?
I'm gonna get you right to your chair right there, okay? We'll go right over there. Just keep coming, keep moving. Assalamu alaikum. And then we can get everybody to get a picture. And so you guys have been here a couple of days now, haven't you? Thank you for coming. Thank you very much. You got Muhammad right here. You the man. Some medication here, just making sure he's good. All right. Y'all want to meet Mom? Come on over here. I'll get out of their way here.
You want to shake his hand? Yeah, go ahead. You can feel comfortable.
I'm Hannah. Nice to meet you. I'm Isra. Nice to meet you.
Hey, Alan. I'm Dad. Nice to meet you.
It's working out good.
I'm Sarah. Nice to meet you. I'm Diana. Nice to meet you.
He's a little, he's not coming out good.
I'm Maria. Nice to meet you.
She said this will wake him up, so.
I'm Yasser.
This is waking him up. He's sitting there. I was afraid I'm walking over you.
I'm Lisa. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. It's an honor.
Assalamu alaikum.
Nahiba. Cheyenne.
Steven.
Hello.
Hey, I'm Brennan. Good to meet you, champ.
Hi, I'm Anya. It's nice to meet you.
You guys met our CEO, right, Greg Roberts?
Muhammad will be here with us for a few minutes, so if you want to sit back around the table and then we can just have the dialogue and answer your questions. Is that okay?
Yeah. Go ahead, guys. Have a seat.
My name's Tom. Nice to meet you. So I'm curious, what did you find that touched you personally the most at the Ali Center, or what about Muhammad's life? I'm just curious. If anyone wants to speak up, I'm just curious. What did you find most interesting, or what aspect of the center touched you personally the most? Anyone?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I'm just curious about when you view the center, when you went through the exhibitry, And when you see what Muhammad's life is all about, what touched you personally the most? What part of Muhammad's life do you think meant the most to you personally?
All of us really surprised when we saw this center. It's a great thing, and really we are happy to see this and to meet Mr. Muhammad Ali, and all Iraqis know Mr. Muhammad Ali, and he is popular at everywhere, and really this is very important moment for us to meet him. And yesterday I called my family and I informed them that I will meet Mr. Muhammad Ali. All of them surprised. Oh wow! Please send our regards to him.
Isn't that nice, Muhammad? That's nice. Greg, anything?
No, I was just wondering, and you answered a little bit about what do Iraqis feel about Muhammad and his struggles for freedom and peace. Do you see your struggle and the same as Muhammad's back in the 60s when he faced the same obstacles and he overcame them, and now he's the man that he is? Even through his disease, he fights the battle as far as his disease is concerned. So he has a real, I think, affection and understanding, and really loves the Iraqi people a lot. And he is really interested, and we've talked about Muhammad visiting other places around the world. We're going to the UK to meet with young people. He's really passionate about young people.
Do you have some questions?
Any
for
questions?
The guys or for Muhammad Ali? Yes? Who would like to start? Sarah?
Okay, I would like to know what was the best moment in your life.
Three-time heavyweight champion. Yeah. Only because I've heard him answer this one before. Being the three-time heavyweight champ, he thinks is the biggest accomplishment. But he always felt like boxing was just a platform to help him get his message of peace across, because then people would listen. He used to always say that he didn't, the fact that his fame in boxing, don't get me wrong, he's proud of that, and he's proud of what he did in boxing to be three-time heavyweight champ of the world. But Muhammad, as Muhammad has said before, it gave him the platform and gave him the ability to have people listen to his message, which is a message of peace. Yeah, I'll tell you one quick story, one of my favorite stories on Muhammad, and there's a million of them, and they're all good. They really are. I mean, I think the reason why I'm so happy to be here at the center is because I've known Muhammad long enough to know how real he is inside and how good he is to the core. My favorite story is because I think it says what Muhammad's all about. Went to the Olympics with Muhammad in Australia, in Sydney, Australia, and we went to a lot of dinners and I really didn't get the Olympic feel until we decided one day we're going to go to a boxing match. And it was an American boxer who fought, and we weren't really that good in the year 2000 boxing-wise. And Muhammad was very animated. We had a good time. The crowd just went crazy when Muhammad walked in. It was word of mouth because it's an Olympic venue. There wasn't someone to go, ladies and gentlemen, Muhammad Ali. But by word of mouth, they saw he was there, and they all started chanting Muhammad Ali, and Ali, Ali. It got really loud. And it was good to feel the love. Well, the American won. And I thought that's what the Olympic feeling was all about, because I felt very patriotic, and I thought this is great. But the young man who lost, after Muhammad got the photo op with the American, Muhammad leans over and says to me, and everybody says, what do you want? Muhammad wanted to see the loser. He said, I want to see the loser. So we go back in the losing locker room. This gentleman couldn't even speak English. He was by himself. He had a towel around his neck. He was beat up. He had a mouse under his eye. He was, he had lost, and he felt like he had let his country down. Muhammad came in and had him sparring with him, and the guy started smiling. Muhammad hugs him, and he just says, Muhammad Ali, he couldn't speak English, but they connected. Muhammad knew how it felt to lose, and he knew he could lift him up. So when we got back to the car, it really touched me, because I thought, I hope I'm a nice person, but I wasn't thinking about the loser. I felt bad because I wasn't thinking in Muhammad's direction. And I got in the car with Muhammad, I said, Muhammad, you're the greatest. I said, for you to think about the loser, I think you're the greatest. And Muhammad said, tell me something I don't already know. He knows what he does to people, but he does it all the time. He's always looking for the underdog and always looking for the person he can help. And that was just an example, but he does it all the time. I've just seen, he can always pick the person who could use him the most, and I'm really proud of him for that. That's a real attribute and a real gift from God, all out. Right, Muhammad? I do appreciate that from you, I really do. Any other questions about it? I mean, what do you, Muhammad, if you went out 5, how many rounds do you think I'd last? 1. Okay. just check. I know the answer to that. Maybe 1 second. And that's the truth. So, any other, I think everybody, you know, Greg, Anthony, all of us here, Broderick, we've all been touched personally by Muhammad, and really, he does inspire people, and he does lift them up, and I feel that with you as well. When you mention, I see the respect that you talk, and I still feel that way, always will feel that way about him. I think as buildings are erected for people, whether it be libraries or institutions, you know, some of that is a good thing, but sometimes I wonder about what the person was really about. This person, I don't doubt, it is about peace. He's never been motivated, as you see through his life story, never been motivated by money or fame. It was always about people and having people be, you know, universally connected, and he's very good at that. So that's why I feel so strongly about working here. Who
inspires Muhammad Ali?
Who inspires Muhammad? Now, you've told me this once, but make sure I'm right here. Athletically, you said James Brown, right? Jim Brown, he played for the Cleveland Browns, but you said, as far as the most influential person you meet, now correct me if I'm wrong, didn't you say Malcolm X? Is that true? I thought so, yeah, Malcolm X. I just wanted to make sure I was right. He hasn't said that before. He thought because, and Malcolm kind of a lot like Muhammad, he evolved. I think, you know, he evolved and saw what true Islam is, and it is about peace. And Muhammad too, because I think being and Muhammad, I'm not trying to speak for you, but being, and you guys can help me with this as well, but being an African American in the 60s and 70s, especially an African American male, was hard. So I couldn't blame Muhammad for standing up for his people and being very strong. They needed that. I think that was needed at that time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so, you know, for me to say, but I think, but Muhammad, as he saw things, well, he evolved and saw how he could be a vehicle of peace and help bring people together. But I think at that time in his life, Muhammad had to get people's attention, you know.
Well, you know, Muhammad couldn't eat at a restaurant. You know, he won in the Olympics, 60 Olympics, and he couldn't eat. He couldn't go to a restaurant to eat because he was barred for eating because he was an African American man. I know that's hard to believe here. You know, with me and you see our staff is very multi-ethnic and multicultural, but in the 60s it was tough. Even to be an Olympic champion, representing your country, and you couldn't sit down and have a meal, is very disheartening. And so Muhammad stood up for our rights, and that's why my father, and maybe your father, knew that Muhammad was a man of true compassion, but was a man of equal rights, and so that's why we can all thank him for his stance, because that's why I can come here, and I can hire the staff that I want to hire, and I can do, and I have the freedoms that I have. It's because of what Muhammad did in the 60s.
I want to know how did you come up with your 6 philosophies?
Well, that is a good question. You know, before this building was built, and the only reason I could speak to this is I was on the board beforehand, and we all sat at a table, and much like this one, and we sat, and Muhammad was there as well, and Lonnie was there. What core values mean the most to Muhammad? How do you describe Muhammad? First, it went from description to what core values represent Muhammad, and what core values does he live by. So that's how we did. You know, someone would say, where's confidence fit in with? That's a big part of Muhammad. To get things done, he was very confident he could do it, and to stand up for what you believe, I think, requires confidence. Dedication, spirituality is important to Muhammad. So we took the things that we thought were most important to him, of course, with his approval, and we moved forward with those core values.
Can you talk a little bit slower?
Oh, I'm sorry. I do talk fast. I apologize. I do that.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. No, so the core values were really based on the way Muhammad lives his life. Is it our, I'm trying to think of the name of the exhibitory we were at yesterday.
Lighting the way.
Lighting the way. I'm sorry. I love that. I love it because I think that's what speaks most about Muhammad is his ability to give back to people and really to give of himself. And he does inspire people. That's a gift Muhammad still has, and I love that.
I think it's important to know that there were more than 6 values that started
Sure.
this process. There were many of them. And it was drilled down, narrowed to just the 6 that seemed to carry the most weight. But there were others like pride, being proud of yourself and who you are and of your culture, many of the values that we, you know, we ended up with the 6 that we have because we think they have the most impact.
I think you should, when you go back home, really think about what that means to you. Maybe not right now because you got a full day, but when you get back home, that the great man wanted to see you because you came to see him. So,
Yeah, that was a question today. Is he was excited about it because when he woke up this morning, and I want you all to know, and I can say this in Muhammad's presence because I think it's important that you know, Muhammad is fine. Medication there does slow him down, unfortunately, and it breaks my heart. But with that being said, Muhammad knows exactly what's going on. Things fine. In the morning, he's very talkative because he's had a good night's sleep and before the medication. So this morning we asked him what he wanted to do, and he remembered. He said, "I want to go see the Iraqi visitor." So I mean, it was important to him. So Greg's exactly right. And as you all can see, he still has the ability to inspire and uplift.
In Iraq, we have many conflicts. So, how we can improve our situation?
You know what I would say, the only thing and Anthony and Greg, you may be able to speak to this better, but you know what I would encourage is to try to meet in the middle and understand each other's viewpoints. When Muhammad, when he decided not to go to the Vietnam War and they took away 3.5 years, almost 4 years, they took away almost 4 years of his prime, when they overturned the decision to decide that Muhammad was right, that it was based on his religious beliefs, instead of Muhammad being mad and saying, okay, you cost me almost 4 years of my career, Muhammad said, I'm not mad at anyone. The guy who tried to put me in jail was standing up for what he believes too. So what he was trying to say is, we just had 2 beliefs, and that's what this country's about. It's hearing everybody's opinion and then coming to a decision. He won. It took a long time, which is unfortunate, but I think Muhammad sees the process, that people have to meet in the middle and talk.
well, I think that you as young people are going to be the reason why your conflicts get on. I mean, you as young people are going to run the world soon, and I think that as many experiences that you have around the world, that you can bring those lessons back. And, you know, 40 years ago, I could not come here. I could not eat in places. I mean, my life was very limited educationally in segregated schools that, you know, you have your time and young people to come together. And what happened to our country is that young people from different multi-ethnic backgrounds came together and decided we weren't going to have discrimination anymore. And so you're at your time now to stand up and be leaders in your country and to be examples for all of us. So we're very proud of what you've done and what you're about to do. And at some level, we want to stay connected to what you do next, what your next steps are as young people and as students. So I just wish that you are successful in what you do, and I have no doubt in my mind that you're going to rise and become a great country, and it's going to be a great opportunity and that the great man will be proud of what you've done. And so we're just happy to have you here and what you've overcome. And none of us can really understand that, but certainly I have a lot of pride in what you've done and what you're about to do.
I wanted to add one thing when you asked that question, and that is it takes a lot of courage to participate in politics. And if there's anything that would make a huge difference in your future, is your participation. In our civil rights history, people have been killed. And that is, I mean, nobody wants to just volunteer to stand up for their beliefs and be killed. But both situations are very violent, very dangerous. It takes a lot of courage. You have to think about your family, your friends, your children. But I would definitely, if you can pull it out, participate, especially in politics. Get involved. So.
Any other questions? Yes, sir?
Good, well, thank you.
Why
No, I'm sorry.
decided
Oh, I'm sorry.
to be a Muslim?
Why did he decide to be a Muslim?
Yeah.
That's a good question, Mom. I can give my opinion, but my opinion, I think at that time that he just wasn't finding the answers that he wanted through Christianity. You know, he was raised a Christian, but he saw in Allah and the Quran, he found his true belief. And Muhammad to this day still enjoys reading the Quran, He like quotes, he'll put quotes out, so, you know, passages and prayers, you know, he'll have them translated for him, prayers. So if that's a question, I don't know, Muhammad, why did you decide to be a Muslim? Can you tell me? What was it that made you decide that, Muhammad? What do you think? That's a good question. Was it just that you found your answers there, Muhammad? Is that where, is that a good answer, or you tell me? No? I can't speak for him, but I think it was just that was where he found.
Well,
his
I mean, if you think about what he sacrificed, and remember in the 60s, when he changed his name, he was lambasted by every media outlet, and he was strong, and I mean, if you listen to some of the tapes that we have, he always talks about it. And at a time when he was really by himself. Muhammad was by himself in a lot of these things, and yet he stood up. He said he'd go to jail, that he died for his religion, and that is a unbelievable dedication. And the country has changed a lot now, but in the 60s, you know, it was a very difficult time to be a Muslim in the U.S. And yet he said he said to the world, and he had a great platform to talk about it. As the greatest athlete in the world, he really was able to really talk, and people didn't believe him, and then they began to believe him. And he had such a great platform to talk about it. Every interview or every public speaking opportunity that he got, he talked about it. And it's really here, it's really documented here at the center. And his belief in spirituality is so strong that he's been able to be so successful. And I think a lot of his success is based on his religious beliefs. I don't know, John, did you?
Yeah, I just wanted to add one thing, and I'm speaking from my reading knowledge. I'm not speaking for him in this sense. But one of the things that oppression and war does to any group of people is it breaks down your sense of identity. It breaks down your sense of pride. And one of the things that Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm X provided was a structure for men to stand up and be their own man. And that was something that was not really happening here. Again, it took a lot of courage, even for the Christians, as in people like Martin Luther King, who, again, someone else who was killed through that situation. But the structure, I think, in his case, was one of manhood, was one of strength and pride, and the structure that the Nation of Islam provided for people like that. And Malcolm X was a fabulous spokesman and a fabulous mentor to Muhammad Ali and to a lot of other men of that time. Because if you look at the documentaries and you look at the people that were there, the followers were not rich and famous for the most part. This was a rare occasion. Most of these people were either out of work or did blue collar work, you know, but to have that sense of pride and that structure was not coming from a lot of other places. If you listen to Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm X speak to this day, you can listen to them on YouTube if you go on the computer. Fabulous, strong conversations about manhood and about life. So I think that's one of the reasons that we made that decision.
That's well said, John, and you're right. I think Elijah Muhammad was a big reason. I mean, he was a man of charisma and with deep belief, and Muhammad shared that faith, that strong faith, and found a connection there and a direction. But it was something I would add that I'm really proud of Muhammad for is what he searches for in religions, as you can see in our spirituality upstairs in that section there, is that commonalities, one God. You know, Muhammad believes one God, and he looks for common threads and places that religions can meet rather than separate. So, but I think you're exactly right. I think it was a pride factor at that time, and he wanted his own belief and to be his own man, and I think that's what he found in Islam.
Sorry, what's the greatest blessing that Muhammad found in himself?
Greatest blessing
Yeah.
in himself? Together, is I think his greatest asset. Anyone else?
Yeah, I just say that he's touched me so much, you know, here, and I think that all of you, I think that that's the gift that he brings to all of us, even in a country and even in a time of great conflict, that he brings the humanity to the room in a way that nobody else can. And John and I have seen this all around the world of the humanity that he brings to the room. And I think that as you look at your struggle and look at his struggle, that you can see at the end of the day,
Him, and so she makes it, you know, easy for him to come out and visit with groups and still so we can gather around Mr. Ali on both sides.
Muhammad, whenever you need, okay?
All right, so if we can get everybody to look at me, Muhammad's looking right at me on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful.
Ready? Over here.
Beautiful.
One more real quick for one. Yeah, are the fun? Yes, look at it.
Great picture.
where are you going to take it, guys?
No, yeah. Oh, well, but they can do public. These kids, these teenagers, not kids, young leaders, have made a great sacrifice of their own.
And this is just the beginning.
With some other people? No. With other people first, and then you will be next. Okay? So listen up.
That's all right. Safety shot too.
All right.
Next. Yeah, if we go fast, it'd be great. That way everybody
That way,
get one.
go that way.
Be good.
Exit that way.
And I'm going to be in the third.
Okay.
We are.
You want to come?
You want to, be right back.
I'll be right.
He's 15.
Hang on a second.
Matt, did you get a picture with Muhammad?
I will in my camera.
All right.
I won't stick out.
Ali and Ali.
Did all you guys? Oh, okay.
Thank you so much for meeting with these wonderful children. Great.
Look right into here. There you go.
So I'll just tell them right now.
Right.
Once we get the last picture, then we can say, you know, thank you.
Good job.
All right.
Thank you.
How many other, was that the last photo? Okay.
Somebody.
Oh, look good.
They want one more. Somebody said
Okay.
this.
Alright, ready, Hiba? Ready?
Who wanted to redo their picture?
Good.
Who?
Lisa.
Lisa?
Yeah.
Okay. Then Lisa comes.
Right there. Good job.
Lisa?
Yay.
Lisa.
I think they're still, you guys are in line?
Yes.
Yeah, they're still on.
That's the one that you speak.
Oh, they're touring the center, so. Once we go.
Okay, it did something. Okay. First, this is hers. I don't.
When you called me.
Yeah, it's okay, just press the button.
There's nothing on the screen.
It'll work.
Okay.
That's all. Big screw. Yeah, Tommy, take Cheyenne's picture with yours.
Oh,
Take one of those.
Because we have to see what he needs to meet these people first.
Yeah, only because they
Well, we can't mix
Ellie, are you redoing your picture?
as soon as they take their last.
Mom, you doing good?
That we want to really thank you guys for thinking of the Muhammad Ali Center, for being courageous and for taking a chance to come over to the United States and meet us and see about our culture. We want to thank you for educating us about your experiences, and we really want to stay connected with you in some way if at all possible. So through the World Affairs Council, we'll try to stay in touch with you guys and make sure that things are going well for you, and also keep Mr. Ali informed about how you're doing in your struggle. We know it's not easy for you, but we encourage you to show your confidence, your conviction, your dedication, your giving, your spirituality, and your respect. And if we believe that if you show those core values in your life, that everything will be okay and that you will be as great, if not greater than the greatest, right, Mr. Ali? So give yourselves a round of applause.
And for Mr. Ali.
And thank you very much for coming. And we're going to ask you, I didn't want this big group to come in and mix in with you guys because we don't know them. We know you, so I don't want, stuff to get misplaced. So if you guys